Hello and welcome to another segment of Open House where we celebrate who we are and what we do here in Adams, York County as a community. My name is Yeimi Gagliardi and this is Community Media, and on this segment we have Yeimi Gagliardi, who is the chair for the Latino Service Task Force, which is part of Healthy Adams County, which is part of WellSpan. Hello, Yeimi.
Hello, how are you?
Never better. Thanks for being here. I am so excited to talk to you because you have so much good information for a part of our community. And first of all, what is the purpose of the Latino Service Task Force?
We have been part of Healthy Adams County for over 10 years, and we started as a group of organizations that work with the Latino community, either providing information about services, members of our faith-based community, education, and overall social safety net programs. So every year we focus on specific needs that are affecting our Latino community, primarily those who come from South America, Central America, and whose primary language is Spanish. We do a lot of work with interpretation and language services across the county.
So have you been with it for all 10 years from the very start?
From the beginning, from the early stages of the task force, I joined a couple of years after it was started. And ever since then, I have been the chair for the task force.
Well, we're lucky to have you here doing that for Adams County. Thank you so much. So what is your main focus now?
With the COVID-19 crisis, we have divided into short-term and long-term goals that we want to help our community. The first one is to provide resources and information, reliable information about how to access healthcare services. What are resources of information that families can seek out, either through their primary care providers or through the large healthcare system in our county, which is WellSpan. So that's the first part, access to information and helping people navigate, particularly during this crisis. And then the second, more long-term, is address the needs of those families in our community that are experiencing dislocation because of loss of jobs, because of a member that's ill. The same situations that are affecting our families are impacting also members of the Latino community. So that's more for the long term of what we're working now.
So your organization not only is looking to help individuals now, but you have the forethought, the vision of what they would need in the future. Yeah, that's another great thing about your organization. Very well put together. So for the short term, if they need access to information, reliable information, where can someone go who needs information?
So in our community here in Adams County, there is a phone number, which is also part of our website, www.wellspan.org. There is a link there for information in Spanish, but the phone number people can call if they have no internet access, and they will be able to connect with an interpreter, is 855-851-3641. Again, that's 855-851-3641. Once people call this number, they can request an interpreter, not only in Spanish. WellSpan serves several counties in the area where there's also individuals from other whose language is not primarily English, and they can request interpreters in their native language.
Okay, so the hotline, this is the hotline for anybody that needs answers. This is Hispanic people or people who speak different languages, or just me, anyone.
Exactly. I will call too, yes.
Yes, it's 855-851-3641. And then if you need an interpreter, please ask for an interpreter, and they will have that person there. And you could ask any questions that you need, that you have any type of anxiety about.
What's happening? Yes.
And
they will likely review symptoms and then point you to the right area to get care. We want to encourage information to individuals, obviously for social distancing, but also to remind them that there is help available and that we're trying to be mindful about the different needs of the community, not only those who are affected by COVID-19, but also who are in need of care. So that's why it's important for people to be very mindful about what are the symptoms and then reach out to, first, obviously to their primary care provider, but also to that phone number. There is a large percentage of our community who may not have a healthcare provider. And so therefore, we want to make sure that they have a number to call, even if they don't have a doctor, where they can get advice, particularly during this time.
And that's the number, 855-851-3641.
Correct.
Perfect. Okay, and then in the long term, so that's the short term. That's where you can go to get your questions answered and be navigated to the right place to solve your question. And for the long term, though, there's a lot of individuals who are laid off.
Right.
A lot of the percentage of Hispanics work in the tourism industry and also agricultural and a variety of different areas who may be laid off. So your organization is putting together a program for them. You're trying to find financial support.
Right.
Can you explain more about that?
Yes. So traditionally, when we have members in our community asking questions about what can we do now, the first option that we always offer is talk to your employer. Do you qualify for unemployment? Is there any type of arrangement that you will be able to come back to work? And if none of that if that's not an option, then the family really needs to start making a plan of how their long-term looks like. The one issue is that many community members don't qualify for programs like food assistance programs or housing programs, and many individuals will not qualify for the federal assistance that it's coming in the next few weeks. The reason is that some of our families file their taxes with an identification number, which is not a social security. Even though they pay taxes, they do not qualify for the federal assistance. Therefore, members of the community, faith-based community, are coming together to help those families in the long term while they are able to continue to go back to work. This is something that has been an issue across the nation, also because some of the immigrant families in our country may choose not to apply for assistance programs if they are afraid that it's going to be used against them in their chances to become citizens. So there's always this constant fear that applying for services will have an impact on their chances of becoming U.S. citizens. We are very mindful and knowledgeable about this, and so that's why we're trying to think in the long term. The reason being is, in Adams County, agriculture and the service industries rely on those immigrant families. And we want to make sure that our community, the economic sustainability of our county and all of their industries continue to be profitable and continue to be a source of, economic engine in our community. So we really want to keep that in mind. And the other reason is many of the children in these families are U.S. citizens. They're part of our community. The only home they know, it's Adams County, and we want them to succeed. We want their families to thrive here in our communities, and that's why we're trying to think in the long term, come together with faith-based organizations, with social service agencies, and with any community members that are interested in supporting these families.
So the first thing you suggest is that the individual talks to their employer, and then find out if the job will be available for them once everything is over.
Right.
But the main thing is, if a person needs navigation through this part of the services that you offer, is there a different number they call?
They can call our number. The Latino Services Task Force has a number through the Hispanic American Center. And they can also reach us by email or Facebook. That number is 717-337-4264.
So that's 717-337-4264.
Yes.
And that will take them to the Latino Service Task Force.
Yes, they will be likely speaking with me, and I will help them interpreting or find volunteer interpreters to help them with these conversations. Many of them have a beginner's English that they can communicate, and a lot of the employers are bilingual too. They have someone in their staff that will be able to help interpreting. But I do think that because we are in this moment of anxiety, there is that added mental health component that makes us fearful, and we don't know what's happening. So having those conversations can be challenging. And we're here to help if that's something that we can do for those families.
So, Yeimi, you and your task force, which is more people than just you.
Correct.
You're the advocate for the Hispanic people here. And I know with what's going on, there's a lot of anxiety. So therefore, talking to someone, I might have them say the same thing several times just to understand it. And you're here for that. And that is the Latino Service Task Force, 717-337-4264. And that will help you with the long term, navigating your needs at that point. If you have a problem with questions with the current situation, you can there's a hotline number, 855-851-3641, and that will take you to the WellSpan. And if you do not speak English, ask for an interpreter.
Correct.
But you're also part of the food pantry.
The Food Policy Council, yes.
Okay, can you tell us about that?
Yes, so that is also part of our collaborative work in the community in terms of food access. So over the years, this group started to focus on food insecurity, meaning that there were folks in our community who didn't qualify for food assistance programs because they were making too much money, but not enough to qualify. So there are different initiatives that we have in place, and that gave us an infrastructure of agencies and organizations that were working in food-related issues. So now with the COVID-19 crisis, what we were able to do was connect everyone on a weekly basis to determine what are the points of access for food for folks who may be food insecure during this time. The first thing we did was reached out to the school districts across the county and learn what plans they had in place to continue to provide meals for students. And so part of the call was to go around and learn what everybody was doing, and then figure out which parts of the county didn't have either a food pantry or a school providing meals. We're grateful because all of our school districts came up, and then they figure out all the waivers and permits and different processes that they have to have in place to provide meals. And as of today, they continue to do that. They do it on different days. And in addition to that, another area that the community has been able to provide is over the weekend, traditionally in the schools, at the end of the week, kids that are food insecure get an additional bag of food. That's like the traditional backpack programs. They go by the name of John's Meals in Upper Adams, Roots Harvest in other parts of the county, and then other programs, they just call them backpack programs. So once we get all the folks together in that call, we figure out who's doing what, and very important, we figure out who is in need of more food donations, more financial support, because we want to support those programs that are already in place. We're just the conduit to gather information and to share with other agencies, and then figure out which areas are lacking, and then come up with a plan to address that. And that's been going on since the beginning of the COVID-19 crisis. And every week we have a conference call where everybody shares what they're doing. And if they hear about a family who, because of transportation or because they have been advised by their primary care provider to self-quarantine, and they're not able to get support systems to deliver food, what we're doing is we are putting together something in place so that we can deliver something for those folks. It's more like a venue to share resources and stay on the loop of what's happening. And that it's been possible because of the work we have done over the years to map out the needs and to identify those partners who have devoted their time and resources to food insecurity.
So Yeimi, the nice thing is the Food Policy Council Task Force for Healthy Adams County, WellSpan, you guys have been doing this for many years now. So you've been the advocate and the organizer, more or less, for those people who are already doing the services of providing food, and you advocate for them, and you find out where the loophole, the weak spot is in the community, and then you try to give support to organizations that might already exist to fill those needs, or find someone to do that. And with COVID-19, you guys are just stepping up your game that you've been doing for years.
Right. Yes. And a lot of the work we do is also in education. We advocate for healthy eating and everything related to public health for prevention. But there are many organizations in the community who have devoted themselves to provide food. For instance, the food pantries, many of them function under a faith-based organization, and they are in the know of who in their parishes, in their communities, who is willing to come and volunteer. So all of those things are very important for our food access part, because it's through those faith-based communities and the work that they also have done over the years that we are able to understand better the needs of that particular part of the county. We couldn't just do it from like one specific hub or something like that. This is a collaborative effort. So
is anyone in the community who has a question, who needs food, who's worried about food, they can contact what number and have a direction to have their issues solved?
Yes, I'll give you again my number. We have a website, but the number is 717-337-4264, extension 6.
Okay, that's 717-337-4264, extension 6. That number is for anyone in the county, even York, who may have an issue with concerns with having enough food. Call this number. You'll get someone who's in Yeimi's task force, and you'll be directed to some organization or someone in the community that could help you.
Right. The foodpolicy.org website also has a list there But the number two, I'll be happy to give that information and share the resources. We are grateful because our community has really stepped up, and my personal belief is that sharing information and having a place to communicate gets other information into people's brain, and then they share it with others. It's like the before times, before the social media. Mm-hmm. Actually listening to the information and processing it and then sharing it. I think that's very important. So.
The nice thing about social media is it connects people to people like you who are here to advocate for us. Thanks so much. You make this a great county. You, the Food Policy Council, the Latino Service Task Force, Healthy Adams County, and WellSpan. You guys have been working for years to put together a program that is really stepping up in this time of need. So we ran out of time, Yeimi. So this is your last. How about if we end this with you saying something to everybody out there listening and watching?
Well, thank you to the community media for allowing us to amplify our message. I believe this is an opportunity for growth. We're learning new things as we go, but we are very resilient, and there's an amazing group of people, professionals at all levels, working hard to make sure our communities stay healthy after this. And I thank you for allowing us the opportunity to share that.
Thank you, Mrs. Gagliardi, who is the chair for the Latino Service Task Force of Healthy Adams County, which is supported by WellSpan. Be safe. Thank you.
You too. Bye-bye.
Yes. Thanks for watching this segment of Community Media's Open House. Until our next segment, be safe, be healthy, be kind. Remember, you are the best.
This program is brought to you in part by the Robert C. Hoffman Charitable Endowment Trust, the Adams County Community Foundation, the New Oxford Social and Athletic Club, the Republican Club of Hanover, as well as the McSherrystown Home Association. This program is also made possible through the noble support of these boroughs and townships through their cable franchise fees. If you'd like to support this or any of our other programs, please visit communitymedia.net. Thank you.